David Kehoe. My job title is Information Security Analyst, and I work in healthcare. I'll be talking about the cloud AI and the LogRhythm SIEM. So my primary use case for the LogRhythm SIEM is to monitor our environment, ensure that we're not having any breaches, also to maintain compliance with HIPAA. We're trying to follow NIST and high trust as well. So that gives us some insight into whether or not that our users are following our compliance objectives. Primary use case for cloud AI is to get some analytics into our users' behavior and whether or not they are acting outside of their norms to either show insider threat or account compromise. Some of the most valuable features for me are the customization of the LogRhythm SIEM. I can build it out to do whatever I want. I've created rules in there for crypto mining, crypto jacking. I've created custom rules in there to work with the LogRhythm netmon. Definitely the customization. The compliance aspect is phenomenal. The reporting in there is fantastic. It helps our internal audit team. It also helps us with our compliance as well for our audits. So it's a lot of good options in there. The SIEM and the cloud AI has improved our organization by helping us track down errors in our network. So it's helped out our IT services team, and it's also helped out our database team in trying to track down errors inside of our network. It's also opened our eyes to a lot of the attacks that have been coming into our network from outside threat actors. It's helped us stop a lot of those attacks as they're happening. And it's also helped us identify some policy violations inside of our network as well. I haven't used the playbooks yet, but from what I've learned here from RhythmWorld, I will be integrating the playbooks as part of our incident response policy. So for cloud AI, it has helped me to identify a lot of policy violations inside of our networks, a lot of bad habits. Just for a specific use case, I've identified where an account that should have been disabled was being used by another user inside of our network. A lot of policy violations, a lot of geographical location identification inside of the networks. Cloud AI UABA has enhanced my security operations because I've been able to track down users with anomalous behavior. So to be more specific about that, I've been able to track down users that were using accounts that they shouldn't have. So for example, we had a user that left the company and another user was using that account to access servers inside of our network that they didn't have access to. So it's very powerful. It just takes some learning to get used to. The stability is decent. So during the day, it works just fine. We do a lot of reporting at night and it hits the system pretty hard. So I get a lot of alerts for like spooled logs or the data indexer is at its max, or I'll lose connections to the sysmon agents. But other than that, everything works perfectly. During the day, searching is perfect. It runs perfectly. The stability is fine except for those heavy hours. So stability for cloud AI has been great. I haven't seen any issues with it dropping. I haven't had any issues with that at all. So scalability, for the most part, is okay. So they have some pretty hard stop limits on what your processor can handle. So I have an XM appliance, which means it's an all-in-one. So I have some hard limits on how far that I can go with the processing rate. So if I go above that, I'll have to spec out a whole new system and then renew my license. So, but I don't see that happening anytime soon in my environment. So I've had to use tech support a few times with getting things set up. For the most part, they are pretty quick to get back to you and very helpful. They've also showed me a lot of tips and tricks to make things either run better or to get better results from my SIEM. So their customer support is fantastic. All right, so I have over 3,300 log sources. The support for log sources is pretty good. unless you want to go to the cloud, where I've had some rough spots with that. I had a hard time integrating with Office 365. My antivirus wasn't supported. I had to get some custom parsers for that to get that integrated. But Windows, Linux, all of that worked perfectly. And to go back to the customer support part, they were very helpful in helping me get parsers that weren't even available. So they will do what they need to do to get you up and running. So support is great, yeah. On average, I process around 1,200 messages per second. So measurable results for mean time to detect and mean time to respond. I don't have measurable results because there wasn't anything there beforehand. But now we've responded within hours to events that could have been breach incidents. So, or in some cases within minutes, and stopping attacks in their tracks. So for room for improvement for the current version of LogRhythm, I would say that better API support for cloud log sources would be a definite improvement. Ease in setup would be a major improvement because it took over a week to get it all up and running, and that didn't even count tweaking it and getting it all set up for my environment. So there's some room for growth there. I think that the next version, they're talking about fixing that. So from there, it should be a lot better, but the current version, it takes some work. So the reason why that I knew that we needed a SIEM solution was we had no visibility at the company that I'm working at. We didn't have a SIEM up until I showed up at the company. We didn't have any visibility into what was going on our networks or on our systems. So that was one of the first steps that I took when I came on with the company. And when I was looking at SIEMs, my shortlist was Rapid7's IDR, or Insight IDR, LogRhythm, and Splunk. I actually had a live demo of Insight IDR running in my environment, and I liked LogRhythm a whole lot better than their solution. So my security program's maturity is still in its infancy. I'm basically starting it from scratch. LogRhythm has been a major step with giving me file integrity monitoring, the SIEM capabilities, log collection, a lot of things that we didn't have before. User behavior has been amazing for helping me keep track of what's going on in my network. So it's been a major stepping stone. It's the first in many. So I would rate LogRhythm as an 8 because of the compliance factor. The modules for compliance are fantastic. The UABA and Cloud AI is solid for user behavior, and the SIEM itself is very powerful in the customization. I work very heavily in the customization aspect of it, writing my own alarms, my own rules to try and track down events and alarms, stuff going on inside of my network. My only complaint really is just the lack of API support and how much work it takes to bring in cloud. That definitely needs some work, and just the time to set up is very time intensive. If I had a friend or a colleague that was looking to implement a SIEM, I would definitely recommend LogRhythm, and I would pretty much give them the same answers that I gave here, where cloud support is still kind of growing there, but the tools itself that it has are very powerful. The behavior analytics are fantastic. It definitely would have to be on their list at least to look at. So.